What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so recently ESPN personality Kendrick Perkins came out with his all-time top 5 international players list. And his list had Manu Ginobili at number 5, Dirk Nowitzki at number 4, Giannis at number 3, Hakeem Olajuwon number 2, and Joker number 1. Now, the thing a lot of people are having problems with is how does he put Joker over Hakeem? And one of the things that makes this suspicious is that 2 years ago, not only did he not have Joker number 1, Joker was not even on his list. 2 years ago when he did this same list, Hakeem was number 1, Dirk was number 2, so Dirk is now dropped to 4th. Giannis was 3rd. He's still 3rd. Steve Nash was 4th. So Steve Nash has vanished off this list completely. Tony Parker was number 5. Parker's gone now. So he's removed Nash and Parker and included Ginobili and Joker. Now, I guess part of this is Ginobili's now a Hall of Famer, so I guess he's pushed him up. And Steve Nash, well, as time has moved on, while we do think that Steve Nash is a great player, he's somewhat underachieved, and that maybe those 2 MVPs he won were not as well-deserved as they should. It's kind of crazy because in this offensive shooter, stat stuffing era, you would think Steve Nash would be more regarded or higher regarded, but he's not. But yeah, Joker wasn't even on his list 2 years ago. So what that infers is that his championship run plus the MVPs, the MVP that he earned this year is suddenly enough to put him from not even on the top 5 list to catapulting ahead of Hakeem Olajuwon. I mean, if they put Joker at if they had him number 2, I'd be fine with that. But ain't no way in hell he should be ahead of Hakeem Olajuwon. I don't care if he has 3 league MVPs. If that's the case, then people need to have more regard for Moses Malone, who's a 3-time league MVP. Right? That Nugget championship run was great. It was tremendous. But let's look at some facts here. During that championship run, that year, in the first round, they played an 8th seed in the Timberwolves. Then in the second round, they played a 4th seed in the Phoenix Suns. In the conference finals, they beat the Lakers, who were a 7th seed. And then in the finals, they beat a Heat team that only got into the playoffs due to the tournament. Although they did have a miraculous Cinderella-esque run, but still, that pales in comparison to what the Rockets did, especially in 95. The Rockets in 95 were led by Olajuwon, who had one of the greatest playoff runs ever. I think he averaged like 33 and 11 the entire postseason, maybe like 3 blocks. And then in the first round, they beat a Jazz team with that. If I'm not mistaken, I think that Jazz team won 60 games. Then in the second round, they beat a Suns team that won 59 games. Then in the conference finals, they beat a Spurs team that won a league best 62 games and had the league MVP. Plus, Olajuwon completely destroyed the league MVP and Darryl Robinson in that series. And then in the finals, a final that they weren't favored to win because they were playing the Orlando Magic team that went 57-25, 39-2 at home in the arena, beat them twice the first 2 games at the arena. And was playing against a prime Penny Hardaway and a young and more athletic version of Shaq. 3-point marksman, Dennis Scott, Nick Anderson, Bulldog, Horace Grant, 3-time NBA champion at the time. Then the year before that, they beat I'm trying to remember how the playoffs was, but I remember they beat the Phoenix Suns in 94 too. And then in the NBA Finals, they beat a Knicks team that won 60 games, which is tied with the, I think, 1970 Knicks for most wins in franchise history. Plus, who does Jokic have to go against at his position other than Joel Embiid, who, by the way, cooked Jokic in the Olympics? Cooked them when Team USA played Serbia. That's about it. Everybody else, as I've said before, are fours masquerading as centers. Stretch fours masquerading as centers. I mean, all you got is Embiid. Vucevic is okay. Bam. No, that's nothing compared to what Olajuwon was doing. Olajuwon had to go up against, in his career, he had to go up against, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had to go up against Moses Malone. Remember, he played from 84 to 2002. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had to go against Moses Malone and Artis Gilmore, and Patrick Ewing, and Shaquille O'Neal, and David Robinson, and Rick Smits, and Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo, David Robinson. I mean, come on, man. Jack Sikma. The list goes, Mark Eaton. He had to actually go up against real centers, and he was the best center in the league. No, I don't agree with this at all. No. And Hakeem Olajuwon, along with Ralph Sampson, although Ralph Sampson didn't show up in that finals, took the Rockets to the finals in what was his third year, 1986? No, his second year, 1986, his second year in the NBA. He took the team, he took them to the playoffs. They played one of the greatest teams of all time, the 86 Boston Celtics, were the Miami Heat in 2023 are nothing compared to that team. Same spread, I think, wasn't it 6 games? No. I think Denver beat Heat by 5, I think it was. But anyway, they took that 86 championship team to 6 games. And if he had any help from, Ralph Sampson, Robert Reed, they may have won that series because they couldn't contain them. And that they had the greatest front line ever, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, and Larry Bird. And they couldn't contain Hakeem Olajuwon. And remember, Hakeem was number 184 draft, ahead of Michael Jordan. And nobody ever questions that. They question Portland getting Sam Bowie over Mike, but nobody questions the Rockets picking Hakeem over Jordan because Hakeem Olajuwon was a tremendously great player. Unbelievable. He's the best post player in NBA history. If Jokic is the best passing big man, Olajuwon is the greatest post player ever. Him and Kevin McHale. But he's the best post center ever. His range consistently went out to 19 feet, 20 feet. He had, in an era where a lot of centers still didn't have that type of mid-range game, that type of range. Occasionally stepping up the three-point line, Hakeem Olajuwon. Tremendous defensive player. He's never led league in assists, but he's a defensive player of the year winner, if I'm not mistaken. Hakeem Olajuwon. I think he is. Yeah, defensive player of the year winner. Led the league in block shots multiple times. Led the league in rebounds multiple times. Jokic never did that. No. No. He's not as great as Hakeem Olajuwon. That's BS. But that's just my opinion, at least. What you got?